let's review year number 2 of Street Fighter 6. Let's get at it. Now don't look now, but Street Fighter 6 is only a couple days away from being 2 years old. And at the time of recording this video, we're actually just less than 1 week away from wrapping up year 2 with the Elena DLC. So I thought it'd actually be fun to do a year-in review of year number 2 in Street Fighter 6. And when I look at a lot of channels on YouTube, a lot of people are just talking about predictions that they think are going to happen or their wish list. I just want to look back and just review everything that's happened. I'm going to look at the good, bad, and the ugly. After all, the channel is called Sing Reviewing Things, and I really haven't reviewed anything, so I might as well give it a shot right now. And don't worry, I promise I got tons of tip videos and guide videos coming out. I just want to release it closer to Season 3 just because there's going to be some changes naturally. They're going to come with the updates. Without further ado, let's talk about this in the comment section. I want to hear your opinion on the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get to it. And y'all know me, I'm all about the good vibes and the positivity. I'm not like that prison sing guy. I'm going to start off with the good. And the first thing that I loved was that there was no DLC leak. So first things first, when I talk about the character DLC, I'm not talking about the actual characters that they released, just the fact that there's no leak. If you hated every single character in that, DLCs that dropped, that's totally up to you, that's your opinion. But I will say, how can you hate that they released that iconic, legendary wolf, Terry Bogard? Anyways, it's not about whether you like them or you hate them. I love the fact that they weren't leaked. And the reason the non-DLC leak was so important to me is, honestly, it's just good to be surprised once in a while. In the world of people data mining or finding people that work for the company, getting inside scoops and just leaking everything right away, I feel like we're never surprised anymore when new things are released in the games that we love. Like Street Fighter 6 is no different. Even before the game launched, someone leaked the entire roster with the DLC characters, and it really took away with that element of, being surprised about something that we love. But there's one thing I can say, that year 2 DLC trailer, not a single person leaked that. No one predicted that Terry and Mai were going to be in this game as DLC characters right away. That one caught everyone for surprise, and honestly, you saw how hyped people were to see those trailers, because being surprised is a fun element. And I know there's rumors out there of who's going to be in Season 3. I kind of hope they're right because my boy Sagat is in that list. But if it's not and we're completely surprised again, I won't be too upset. But Capcom, bring my boy back soon. The next thing that was good that I absolutely love to report is that the competitive scene had banger after banger tournaments. Seriously, it's like every major tournament. Didn't matter if it's Evo, Capcom Cup, Evo Japan, Red Bull Kumite, Combo Breaker, you name it. Every tournament just had insane matches with crazy moments. And that's all you can ask if you're a viewer watching a fighting game stream. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's a high level tournament, of course it's going to be good. That's not always the case. One of the big reasons I didn't play Street Fighter V that much is I just wasn't interested in the tournaments I was watching. Even if it was a big tournament like Evo or Capcom Cup, it didn't grasp me like a tournament from Street Fighter 4. I know I'm not going to turn this into a Street Fighter 4 versus Street Fighter 5 debate. That's a totally different video topic. Maybe I'll tackle that one day. But Street Fighter 6 has just come through the tournaments, and I think people of all levels have found it enjoyable. And that's all you can ask. And the good news is, with Season 3 coming up and new balance updates, I don't see these tournaments getting any worse. So we got some good viewing coming up. The next thing that made me so happy, and I definitely put this in the good category, was Capcom actually released some mid-season patches and some minor balance updates throughout the year. And the reason that's so big for me and for a lot of other players is that Capcom actually went against their quote-unquote wisdom of only doing one major balance patch per year. And I know tons of people just saw that. As soon as Capcom said that, we just looked at ourselves and said, that's not a good idea. You can't go one full year without having some tweaks, especially if they're necessary. You will make the game stale. And that patch was a godsend for so many characters. Characters like Ryu, Terry, they really needed what was coming in those patches. And even though they may have gone a bit overboard with nerfing characters like JP, in patches down the road, a couple months later, they gave them back a lot of the stuff that they took out. You need to be able to tinker on the fly. 1 year without getting any major changes or even minor changes along the way is way too long. So hats off to Capcom, y'all definitely did good with that. And then the final good comment I'm going to make is, even after 2 years, this game is still a lot of fun. I know it has its problems, I'm going to get into that, don't worry. but it's an enjoyable Street Fighter, and if we're 2 years in and we still like playing it, chances are we're going to like it for its entire life cycle. Good job, Capcom, for making a fun fighting game. And now I'm going to talk about some of the bad things that I thought happened in year number 2. And again, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to shit your pants. But just in case you do shit your pants, let me know in the comment section. No, seriously, talk to me whether it's positive or negative. I love to talk to y'all and learn more about your opinion of things. Maybe that'll change my opinion or just make me a better content creator in the future. But let's get into some of the bad. So the first thing I want to talk about in the bad section is that the meta is getting kind of stale in this game, and I know that's a given, but it's still worth mentioning because it's not exclusive to Street Fighter 6. Any fighting game that's been out for 2 years, 2+ years, without any major system changes, you're going to start seeing some warts here or there. So this is not like a major criticism. And I think a lot of the meta issues, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because believe me, there are tons of videos on it, just comes down to things like checking drive rushes being inconsistent, throw loops. Like a lot of people, we've kind of had our fill with these two things, but unfortunately they're everywhere because it's such a powerful mechanic in this game. And now that we're inching so much closer to the finish line, you're going to start seeing a couple more things like beyond just drive rush or things like throw loops. You're going to be dealing with character exploits. Like no one really likes dealing with the armies of Mai's or Bison out there. You don't want to talk about EX fans or the bomb too much because we've had our fill. Everyone listening to this video, unless you main those characters, we're kind of done with those things. So beyond just the system changes, the things that we're seeing on repeat in ranked and battle hub with these same things over and over, it's going to run its course on us. Now thankfully Season 3 is just around the corner and Capcom has already hinted at major system changes that are coming. I've already tackled them. A lot of people have tackled them in some other videos. There are going to be changes to throw text recovering drive bar and super, some changes to how parries work, and I'm sure there are going to be some more as well. So there will be some system changes and obviously huge balance updates to the rest of the cast as well. So this should be changing, but it's still worth mentioning. The meta is getting kind of stale. Next thing in the bad category, I gotta talk about the Battle Pass. Honestly, the Battle Pass in my opinion is just meh. I'm not saying it's terrible, I'm not saying it's great, but it really doesn't do anything for me and it hasn't really changed at all in the full 2 years of this game's lifespan. It's the same thing over and over. Here are a few songs, here are a few cosmetic things, but nothing really that blows your mind. It just seems so autopiloted to me. Do you feel the same way? Let me know in the comment section. But I feel like Capcom can do so many more things with this. Like they have such an epic franchise catalog. Maybe pull into that a bit more. Like let's have more Mega Man related things, Mega Man X, Devil May Cry. If they look at the Monster Hunter series in the past, like they really did collaboration events like very good. Capcom should look into bringing that type of atmosphere and hype back into Street Fighter. And I'm going to get into this later in the video in the ugly section, but it just seems that all the Battle Pass content that's, cosmetic is just for your character avatar. Do something for the characters in the game as well. Maybe a certain Battle Pass has a new color for Chun-Li or, a new hat for JP. Like, just something to change up what they've been given. It's been the same thing over and over, and I think it's time to spice things up a little. Up next in the bad section, we gotta talk about the DLC character releases and rollout dates. I'm just gonna come out and say it, 4 characters a season is simply not enough. Now I'm not gonna stand here and say, you need 20 characters every season, 10 characters every season. I'm not gonna be outrageous, okay? But I think anywhere between 5 to 6 characters a season is the perfect sweet spot. Even in year 2, maybe you felt the same way, but I personally just thought that there was a content drought. It just seemed that characters took such a long time to come out, especially when you went from year 1 to year 2. You had Akuma and then like a month or a month and a half later Bison dropped, and then it was just a long drought till September, then Terry and etc, and Elena. No one expected her to come out this late in the season, and I think Capcom really wanted to line this up with the Switch 2 release. Totally different topic, but it just felt like we waited an eternity for some of these characters to come. And then Capcom followed the same marketing scheme. They show you a world tour video of them, it really doesn't tell you much, and they show you a quick gameplay trailer, again it doesn't tell you much, and then you still gotta wait another month for the character. I really think moving forward that they can improve on this, but I'll be honest with you, I think they're set in their ways with how they release these characters. We might just have to live with it. And then finally, in the bad section, I gotta talk about the music in the game. When Capcom announced the jukebox back in May 2024, yes, you heard that correct, May 2024, they didn't add to the original soundtracks that are available. You only got music again through the battle passes. What are we doing here, man? Capcom, you're sitting on a gold mine of catalogs, and I know they're gonna come in the future, but you're telling me in year 2 you couldn't add another soundtrack in there from Mega Man X, Project Justice, or anything? Maybe they're licensing issues I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure you still own a ton of the music that you have. Update that jukebox, come on. 1 year, that's way too long. And then the last thing I gotta talk about is what I thought was ugly in this season. And even if you disagree with me, I am so stubborn on these, I might just die on these hills. But let's get into it. And honestly, when making this video, a lot of the stuff that came down the ugly section is just fan service in a lot of ways. But I break them down, a bit deeper than that. The first thing to me is the lack of costumes is actually insane. This is not a hyperbole, but it's downright embarrassing that Capcom has not released anything costume related since that last costume pack that they did. And the next fact is gonna blow your socks off. If you're not wearing socks, it's gonna blow your underwear off. If you're not wearing okay, I'm not gonna finish this joke. Costume Pack 3 came out in 2023. Think about that for a second. We're flying through 2025 and there hasn't been a Costume Pack 4. 540 plus days since they released Costume 3. Just think about that number. It's absolutely inexcusable. And I hate to say it because I love Capcom so much, but it's just getting harder and harder to buy what they're saying, that it's so hard to deliver, costumes on characters because of the engine, or they want to release everyone at the same time. Dude, it's been 500 plus days. You should have figured this out by now. Even if you don't have to release them all at the same time. If you have to release, a pack of 5 at a time, 2 at a time, people are still going to be happy that things are trickling out. This method that they have right now is inexcusable. To me, this is my biggest gripe. This would make so many people happy. We literally want to open our wallets and give you money for costumes. Make it happen. Please, please, please. And then that just leads me to my second point about the avatars that characters have. I think this is where Capcom is putting all their resources, because it seems like every time there's a new update or a new battle pass, they focus on new stuff for your avatar. Make them look like Third Strike characters, make them look like Darkstalker characters, make them look like SNK characters. I am so sick and tired of all this avatar bullshit. And I know I sound like Prison Sing there. I'm gonna actually scale it back. But man, I'm so done with it. I can't look at any more of these avatars. And maybe I'm just an old man and I'm an old school gamer, which I am. But man, microtransactions like these just grind my gears like you wouldn't even believe. And you know what? I wouldn't mind these if there was just like a simple solution where you can use a lot of these things that you buy for your avatar on your actual characters when you play in game. And now Street Fighter 6 has menus where you can turn off costumes, so it wouldn't be a distraction for your opponent. But let us at least customize how our characters look a bit more, not just our avatar character. And guess what, Capcom? People would pay for that. You really should hire me because I'm giving you all these awesome marketing ideas. Let us be more creative. We don't care about the avatars as much as you think. Or maybe we do. Maybe people are spending, boatloads of money on it. But let us customize the actual characters that we love and fight with on a day-to-day basis. And then the final thing, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I do feel that Capcom's been lacking on the communication side a bit for a year or two. It's obvious the elephant in the room is the costumes when they're coming, DLCs. And Capcom has made a statement, that they're having some trouble, some difficulties getting these costumes out. But I feel a lot of these things are still tucked under the rug, just hoping that, they'll pass on. There should be more transparency. I think it would make a lot of the player base happy if they had that level of transparency, but it's where we are right now. Capcom's still one of my favorite companies out there, and I know they'll bounce back, but I definitely think they can be a bit better here. And then my closing thoughts on year 2. Like I said, I know I had 2 sections for negatives, the bad and the ugly, but I still do love this game. If I have to give Street Fighter 6 an actual rating itself as a game, it's an easy 9 out of 10. It's one of the best fighting games ever made. I love it to death. But if I'm just to review year number 2 objectively, I would have to give it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. That's just the season, even though they brought my boy Terry in. I know Capcom's going to improve on this moving forward, but I really hope they do it starting with year 3. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out, everybody.